Here's a direct message from ECW founder Todd Gordon when I questioned about the pilot episode and the actual first episode the WWE Network put up. They put up a pilot episode, and there was an original ECW first episode. So here's a message. I questioned Todd Gordon on this confusion. Here's the story on the pilot / Cabrini confusion. We shot the pilot at Tabor Rams Youth Club. That's what we submitted to Sports Channel Philadelphia. It had the Sandman and Kodiak Bear and others. Once they accepted it, we did our first tapings. 3 weeks of shows at Cabrini. Yeah, the ECW TV pilot in the fall of 1992 at the Kensington Rec Center. I think the announcers for this episode, Jay Sully and Stevie Wonderful, I believe they said. And if it's the same place that in the message from Todd Gordon, it was at the Tabor Rams Youth Center. Now, if it's the same place, I'm not sure. Very dark. They didn't put much light overhead. They had overhead lights, but it's not much a light for the place. The opening match for this TV pilot, Tommy Cairo, Iron Man Tommy Cairo, as he later becomes known as, versus King Kalua. Now, King Kalua, I remember reading about him, but this is the first time I've ever seen him. One thing about Tommy Cairo in the as they're getting ready, and he's wearing a leather jacket outfit, leather pants, leather jacket. That's the first time I've ever seen him wear something like that. Tommy Cairo will go on more notably with the Sandman and his wife Peaches, a kind of a feud where Sandman would accuse him of spending too much time with him, and it was pay your dues kind of thing. That's where Tommy Cairo will be more notably become. But this is the opening, apparently opening TV match ever, the pilot for ECW, was Tommy Cairo, King Kalua. I'm looking at their size-wise. They're not, well, I mean, in muscular-wise, it's... Okay, they're pretty big guys. They're not tall, but muscular with large stomachs. One thing that's notable about these guys. Remind me a lot, remind me of what Don Morocco would look like when he started with ECW. In 1992 and through 93. It reminded me a lot of what Don Morocco would look like. But it's a good opening match. It was a good wrestling match. It wasn't skillful, but it was a good wrestling match, and they knew what they were doing. It's not exciting, it's not exciting or not boring. It was a good match to open up the first episode of ECW with. And first King Kalua would shine, and then Tommy Cairo would turn around, and he finally finishes the match with a sunset flip from outside the ropes, and King Kalua would sit on Cairo, but Cairo kind of shows off his arm muscles, and Cairo uses his legs and traps Kalua into a pinning predicament from the sunset flip. And so Tommy Cairo would pin King Kalua. It was a good match to open up the show, yes. Right, the second match in the TV pilot is ECW Tag Team Champions, the Super Destroyers, the manager Hunter Q. Robbins, versus the team of Jimmy Jannetty and Larry Winters. Now, Larry Winters, I know, he became as a trainer for Joe Goodhart's Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and Todd Gordon's whatever the training academy for ECW was. But Larry Winter, I know, was a longtime trainer, and he's a longtime wrestler for both TWA and ECW. Jimmy Jannetty, I believe, was I think the first ECW show back in February. Now, the question is whether he's kind of a copy of a Marty Jannetty, making him a fake younger brother of Marty Jannetty, or he's actually related. I don't know. But I tell you one thing in this match: Jimmy Jannetty and Larry Winters were a far better tag team than the Super Destroyers. Super Destroyers were acting like they were two big guys. They were kind of big guys, but Jannetty and Larry Winters were far better in this match. Far better, a good tag team in this match. Very disappointing ending. I came to understand why how this ending happened because of the TV pilot. You have time restriction, a 10-minute time limit. Who ever heard of that in a title match? But because of a TV a time restriction trying to tape this pilot episode, but it's disturbing to see any title match end in a time limit draw. It's not. I mean, a pinfall went to occur, and all of a sudden the bell rings, and Jannetty and Larry Winters thought they had won the titles. Now, also referee Jim Molinalla, if I'm pronouncing his last name right, he became a long time referee for ECW. Maybe when I started in 1993 and in 1994, I'm not sure how long he worked, but he was a long time referee, Jim Molinalla. And he checked on why the bell rang. And he explained to Jannetty and Larry Winters that the time limit expired. It was 10 minutes. I can only think it was because of the TV restriction for the TV pilot. But it was a time limit draw. But Jannetty and Larry Winters were definitely a far better team than the Super Destroyers, that's for sure. Next match in the ECW TV pilot was TV champion Glenn Osborne versus the legendary Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, here's some notes I gotta throw into this. When this TV pilot, it's still confusing when it was taped. I'm looking over the ECW history, results show history, 1992, and it's still not confirmed on the specific date because it seems like it was in October of '92 that they did the show at the Tabor Youth Kensington Rec Center, and the kids at ringside were on Tabor Youth over and over. Okay, confirms a place. But it's October when this show the time period when it took place, because they did a promo with TV champion Glenn Osborne, and they say this is his first title defense. Now, September 30th, 1992, it was my first show. I went with my brother to the Chestnut Cabaret at 38th and Chestnut. They did a battle royal, and when the people were thrown over the top rope, their eliminations would create the list of matches. The battle royal was to decide a TV champion, I guess, a new TV champion, and the last two eliminated would later on. It was Sandman versus Glenn Osborne. They would decide TV champion in the last match, but the elimination of the battle royal would whoever was eliminated first to last would decide the list of matches at the Chestnut Cabaret show, and Glenn Osborne would defeat Sandman to win the TV title. So that was his first title defense. That was September 30th, 1992, that the show I was at. That Glenn Osborne won the TV title. Now, this has to be somewhere October of 1992, but the exact date of the taping, there is a listing. There is a listing of the October 1992 show for the Tabor Youth Center in Kensington, but the date is not. They have no confirmation. There's no confirmation of the date. Now, for the TV title match, okay, some strange things here. The promo with Counter Q Robbins is the manager for Jimmy Snuka. That apparently Jimmy Snuka is a heel. Jimmy Snuka is strangely dressed. He's like a street hood. I have to describe it. He looks more like a New Jack. I am not kidding. When you see this photo of him, a black head bandana, sunglasses, and he's eating an apple. So slobbing. He's chewing this apple and spitting it out of his mouth. He's not even swallowing the apple pieces. It reminds me of George the Animal Steel, the WWF, the way he used to chew up turnbuckles and the white stuffing he threw it all over the place. That's how Jimmy Snuka is eating his apple. But he's dressed like a street hood. I swear he does. He reminds me so much of June Jack. I don't want to offend you, New Jack, but he does look so much like you, and it's very unusual for Jimmy Snuka to be dressed like that. Now, Glenn Osborne had a good promo, and I like how, I never saw him talk. Hear him talk, and sounded interesting. He stuck his tongue out. His voice sounds so much like Glenn Osborne? Road Warrior Hawk. His voice sounds so much like a Road Warrior Hawk. He's got heavy black makeup kind of under his eyes. And I like he's the way he stick his tongue out at the end of the promo. He very much reminds me of Road Warrior Hawk. Um, Glenn Osborne, he's got in the match now, in the title match in the ring. Um, Glenn Osborne is definitely the face, the baby face, and he's got the whole, all the kids are over and over and over yelling Tabor Youth, Tabor Youth. I couldn't really, you can't remember what are these kids saying, but it sounds like Tabor Youth representing the place they're at. He's you don't see his long hair, I mean, during the promo, but you definitely see the long hair in this match. Well, when Jimmy Snuka's in the ring, now here's the big, really weird change with that promo. When that promo was taped, he's dressed like New Jack or a Sweet Hood in the promo, but when he get in the ring, he's dressed like his typical Jimmy Snuka, like a tiger skin kind of outfit. And I've seen him with ECW or WWF at times. He's dressed in the same outfit. He's also addressed as from the dark side, so probably they're trying to say he's a heel, okay? And even the announcers are wondering why he's announced as from the dark side. And Jimmy Snuka he's being distracted by the kids yelling Tabor Youth over and over. I know a decent a decent brawling match between Glenn Osborne. This is the first time I've ever seen Glenn Osborne, even though I saw him in person. It was more, it's more you could more pay attention to how they're wrestling and kind of person they are when they're on TV. People could say to me, you pay more attention to what kind of person they are, how they wrestle in person, at a live show. True, but it's a long time ago, people, 1992, and I just barely remember what I've seen in that show. It was a very, very small place, just like that Tabor Youth is, the Chestnut Cabaret. And I just remember how Glenn Osborne would look, let alone wrestle. And it was a good brawl match with Jimmy Snuka. The ending, got kind of confusing. They said that Jimmy Snuka apparently, when he threw the referee into, it looked like I didn't see it, but how referee got in the way, and Glenn Osborne comes off with a flying shoulder tackle that Ultimate Warrior would be known for. And he nailed that referee, Jim Malinello. Wow, he nailed him right out of the ring. It was a good shoulder block. But then another referee came in when Glenn Osborne was able to get back in, and he kind of power slams Jimmy Snuka. The announcers, they said they could count to 10, that Glenn Osborne could have pinned Jimmy Snuka, and Hunter Q. Robbins is running around like, what am I going to do? He's pinning Jimmy Snuka. He's pinning my man. Then Glenn Osborne looks where the referee is at. Jimmy Snuka comes with a very nonchalant roll-up, schoolboy roll-up, and a second referee comes in and makes a 3 count that Jimmy Snuka apparently has won the TV title. Jim Marinello, he gets back in and quickly takes the TV title away from Jimmy Snuka and hands it back to Glenn Osborne, apparently because he got knocked out of the ring. So I would think that who's disqualified here? There's no pin because Jim got knocked out of the ring. So is it that he disqualified Glenn Osborne or disqualified Jimmy Snuka? Jimmy Snuka pushed him into the way that Glenn Osborne could hit him with a shoulder tackle, or because he disqualifies Glenn? It doesn't really say. But Glenn Osborne, probably on a disqualification, Glenn Osborne retained a TV title over Jimmy Snuka, but Jimmy Snuka wasn't going to take that, being the heel, and he headbutted and hit everybody. He hit the referees, he hit everybody, and Jimmy Snuka took off with the TV title belt. But it was a much more interesting match. But it was more of a disturbing seeing the way Jimmy Snuka was dressed in that promo, and then and then what he's dressed like in the ring. So interesting change of clothing. But it was interesting to see Glenn Osborne. It was like the first time I've seen him defending the TV title. They said he was defending the TV title for the first time. So this is definitely in October 1992, and the previous show was the one I was at, September 30th. So this TV tape is definitely in October. All right, the final match on this ECW TV pilot is ECW heavyweight champion, the Sandman, with his wife Peaches, versus the Kodiak Bear. One thing that the Sandman has always said in any interview he's ever done is he hated the debut of his character, the Sandman. When it was a beach bum, or what do you want to call it, the surfer, he downright completely hated this outfit and the whole character. Anyone would back that would could see it. This is the whole outfit. He had a surfboard, a skin outfit like you're going in the water. I could see it. And he said it's embarrassing. He isn't embarrassed to even look at a film like this. In Now, his opponent Kodiak Bear, that he worked in the first ECW show in February. Also, I think he worked in the Tri-State. And the thing about Sandman, I think he said he worked with Joe Goodhart's Tri-State Wrestling Alliance too. But this is the very very early Sandman. Now, it's interesting how the Sandman, because he took name from the beach sand, the sand. Now, when into 1993, when he started with a feud with Tommy Cairo, and Tommy Cairo spent more time. I started somehow spending time with the wife Peaches. That led to the Sandman smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. That led to the Sandman we know today, and they used it. And then he started using the intro, metallic intro of the Enter Sandman that everybody knows today. But this is an extremely ironically, oh my god, using that word, extremely early version of Sandman, the beach sand dude, with the skin out, the zippered outfit and the surfboard. Someone he downright hated. Now the match alone, Kodiak Bear did some work out on Sandman. He did a job on him a little bit. Now, whomever Kodiak Bear's manager was, and I couldn't get the complete name, a commander or something. This guy is a embarrassing WTF copy of WWF's legendary The Grand Wizard, Ernie Roth. What the heck was that? Is the most lousy looking manager, let alone the rip on Grand Wizard. Just you can see the turban outfit and sunglasses, and oh my god, it was embarrassing to look at. Honest to God, this guy's a very strange, weird, what the heck? A copy of the Grand Wizard. He looks I don't want to say he looked exactly like him, but he's a ripoff. Oh my god. It's more embarrassing to look at that guy than Sandman complaining about his outfit. But Kodiak Bear doing a bear hug, and when he got and that commander of his, Kodiak Bear's manager was doing it, some kicking, and when Sandman's outside the ring, Kodiak Bear took vague more shots at Sandman. This is honestly got an embarrassing title match to watch. The rest, they ended the show with this match. Well, it's their title match, their champion. Where every other TV title and tag title were far more interesting to watch. But Sandman comes off with the top rope drop kick, and ends the match and pins Kodiak Bear. The ending of the match was far more interesting, if you can say that. An interesting ending, just to end an embarrassing match, where the rest of the matches were far more interesting. But it ends the TV pilot with ECW champion Sandman pinning Kodiak Bear with an off the top rope drop kick, which was far more interesting to look at than the match itself. In a post-match interview, which didn't really last long, Sandman he begins complaining about how Rockin' Rebel. I did forget to mention Rockin' Rebel did a quick run-in and did some kicking and whatnot, stomping on Sandman. attacked him during the Kodiak Bear match. In the post match, Sandman's complaining about Rock and Rebel. Rock and Rebel then again in the locker room attacks Sandman. Then a bunch of the wrestlers come in, try to break it up. You see Todd Gordon again. He had to throw his had to get in his TV pilots. It's his company, and he's in there for like one flat second, and it goes right off to where Jay Sully and Stevie Wonderful, the announcers, come to end the show. But I forgot to mention that. Sorry, but Rock and Rebel did. I guess it's a rivalry feud with Sandman Rock and Rebel, where Rock and Rebel did attack Sandman during the match with Kodiak Bear, and then he attacked Sandman in the post match interview, and a couple wrestlers jump in, and including Todd Gordon. So I forgot to mention that for the ECW TV pilot. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, like or dislike, and thank you for watching.